a space to thrive and be in a love vibration, sharing your heart with another. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Healing Honey. If it's your first time here, it always makes me laugh when I say hey guys. I can say hey girls. I can say what's up beautiful souls. If it's your first time here on this channel, we're always talking about self-love, how we can be our best self, spirituality, shadow work, healing ourselves from the inside out so we can feel so good. I used to create videos on hair and makeup and the outer beauty, but these days it's so much more about inner beauty and our glow up internally. And so I like to keep it raw and real on this channel. Make sure you drop me a comment, let me know who's here. You guys are such dope souls. Like, I'm so excited for this channel and where we're gonna go. And so it's very much a community. It's not just me, but I just love to share what's in my heart, what I'm going through. I'm learning from you. It's a relationship. And so speaking of relationships, let's talk about love. You know, on this channel, I've shared about my celibacy journey. I've shared my insights on love. When we're on our spiritual journey, it's all about vibration and elevating. And a big component of this is love, self-love, but also in our relationships. And so there's this ideal that we can have of love, but then there's also the realities of love and what comes with relationships. This includes our fears and phobias, our past traumas, you know, grief, things that we've experienced in our life. We could be carrying with us on a subconscious level and we're not aware of it. Right? But when we're tapped in with ourselves, we can get to know ourselves and heal ourselves. And so I wanted to share how I used to be a commitment phobe. And this is so crazy, right? When you get to know your inner world and dig into your shadows, you might discover things that you didn't know about yourself. And I feel like this is really popular in today's world, just based off the state of the world. We're in 2023. Just the vibration on the planet, right? The music, how we interact with one another, the things we've gone through as we're born and as we're little kids. We come into this life so pure, right? But then life happens and we can get hurt. We can see things that shape our mind and fears can creep in. So it depends how you were raised. What did you see? What did you experience? What was your environment like? There's a lot of just trauma and chaos in the world, and so this can manifest later on in life if we don't deal with it. Especially when you're on your spiritual journey or if you're on a celibacy journey, once you find that self-love, in a way it can kind of it can become a wall, or it can become, we can block ourselves from love subconsciously. When you start to feel that love inside, you realize, well, hey, I don't necessarily need anyone else. I feel whole within myself. And that's a beautiful place to be, but we want to make sure that we don't block out love and we don't block our heart, because there's just so much that we can gain from relationships with others and being vulnerable, learning to compromise and sacrifice. And there's so many ways that a relationship can help enrich our lives. But we can have blocks and there can be fears there. And that's what I want to talk about today, you know, because I'm one of those people who didn't recognize that I had some commitment issues when it comes to relationships. But as I've been taking a deep dive within my own self, this has come to the surface, and that's what I want to share with you guys. Okay, so and I invite you to do the same thing. If you're single, even if you're not, because you know, sometimes people are in a relationship for a long time and they still haven't really fully committed, right? Commitment, giving your full heart, giving 1000%, like all in. And this can be scary to do. I'm just keeping it real and honest. Maybe with myself, like we have to be real with ourselves And then this is a space to just be honest with each other, you know, like, do you have any commitment fears? Like, what scares you about committing your whole heart to someone else? And I think that this is really common even when we're not aware of it. Like, if you're in any type of situationship, if you've been with somebody for years and years, but it's like the thought of marriage scares you, or if you don't really believe in love, if you have this shadow over your heart, then like, let's talk about it, because we can always shift and we can always change. That's the beauty of life, is about it starts with introspection, healing, and then our inner world will reflect our outer world. So we can unblock our heart, we can heal. On my own healing journey, on my own self-love journey, as I've cultivated love within my own self, right? And I've learned to fill up my own cup, be there for myself, feel good, like from my own energy, not from weed, not from a relationship, not from sex, not from anything on the outside, but learning how to feel good from the inside. When you have all this love within you, it's also a beautiful experience to give love to someone else, right? Share in this love. Love is meant to be shared and experienced with others, right? And also in relationship. But it requires basically vulnerability, risk. Love is a risk, right? Love is the risk and love is the reward. What even sparked this was that I had a dream and I was at someone's wedding, and I wasn't like taking it seriously in a way. Like I noticed myself, like in a dream, you can observe yourself, right? You're in the dream, but then later you can recall the dream. It's the subconscious speaking to you, right? And I was like at someone's wedding, I don't know who it was, and I just wasn't taking it seriously, basically. Then I moved on to, I was like, I guess running away, and some contraptment was like trying to come over me, and I felt trapped, and like I couldn't escape. So anyways, what the dream revealed to me was that I have some commitment issues. Does commitment mean trapped? Okay, so I had to do some inner work on myself, just limiting beliefs about relationships. And then when we look out in the world, if you get your ideas from the world, that's not going to be any good for you. It's not pure and it's not true. We can create all these beliefs. They can be placed into our minds, into our hearts. Then later on, we play them out in our life until we're ready to do the inner work, go in, see where did it come from, and then see, do you actually believe that? So I had to ask myself, do I believe that a relationship or a commitment means that I am trapped? Right? Because that's what the dream was revealing, was in my subconscious playing out. It's not that that's what I actually think is true, but that's a fear. And when we're on our spiritual journey, we want to cleanse ourselves of fear. We want to cleanse our negative programming and allow our true self to be. So what do you actually believe is true about relationship? And for me, I recognized, well, okay, in my past, I did feel trapped. I did feel the relationships weren't serving me. I couldn't be my real self, and it was like limiting me in my life. Healing is not always so fun because we have to face our shadow. We have to face parts of ourselves. We have to go back and be like, face the things that we've done or what we've experienced, and it can be painful, but I promise you, it doesn't take so long, and you can move past it once you do it. Like, you can free yourself, you can be released. Everything that you've been through in your life was serving a purpose to teach you about what's in your heart, what path you want to go down, and it's okay. And rebirth, right? Spiritual awakening as well is a catalyst for change and transformation, just like a butterfly. We can shift. That's what's been happening for me in my own life. You know, I had to recognize that I am not the mistakes that I've made in my past, right? And the same thing for you. They're just learning tools. You're not chained to your past. You could just see it for what it was and what did you gain from it, and then let it go. right? Let it go. Because rebirth is about letting your old self die, your old beliefs, your old patterns, your old bonds, limiting beliefs, letting it go and being like, okay, who do I choose to be? Because you're a co-creator of your life. Who do you choose to be? What do you choose to embody? It's beautiful because you're free to decide what that is. And so it got me thinking about love and where I am now, and understanding boundaries, right? Not overgiving, not overstretching, not reducing myself to be what others want me to be, but who am I really, right? Stay true to yourself. What are my values? What do I see for myself and want for myself? And so it's beautiful, like rebirth and starting fresh, banishing your fears is about like having a clean slate and then being intentional. What am I going to create for my life? And so now as I've matured, now as I've grown, I recognize that love is not even love, but relationship and commitment is not about constraint, and it's not about being trapped. Okay, like the dream was showing me that fear. Oh my gosh, commitment means being trapped. No, it doesn't. Real love is about being free. Okay, real love is about being free. I guess you could feel trapped if you decide to be with somebody and it's not very intentional, if it just falls together. There's not too much thought or it wasn't deliberate. Then yeah, you could feel trapped, because once we do open our hearts and we're in some form of commitment, things can intensify, right? And so you do want to be very mindful, like be so choosy because you can create love. You can create love with anyone. You truly can. But stay true to your heart, because some of the things that I've learned is that a healthy relationship, one that you want to be committed in, is going to allow you to be your real self, right? That's so important. Find someone where you can just be yourself. What's really in your mind, what's really in your heart, your flaws, your insecurities, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. Your bad moods or your quirks, when you're giggly, when you're loving, everything. If you can truly be yourself, then that's a relationship that you want to be in. Someone who accepts you. That's such a huge thing. In my past, I remember just not feeling accepted, trying to change who I was, trying to be what they wanted me to be or whatever. No. It's such a freeing feeling when your partner accepts you how you are. There's just like no better feeling than that. It's very beautiful. And so then in that way, commitment is freeing. It's not a trap. You're free to be yourself. You're free to bloom. It's okay. But who you really are. Because sometimes we can hide who we really are, right? Fearing that we won't be accepted. But when you can get to a place of like, this is me, and just authenticity, like take it or leave it, because I love myself, so I can only be with somebody who loves the real me. When you get to that place, and somebody sees you for who you really are and they love that, okay, now you're free in love. You're free to love. You're free to give your heart and receive love, right? Have you guys ever heard that expression? Are you with the old ball and chain? Or I need someone to hold me down. Like a lot of times we can associate commitment or relationship with like a ball and chain or hold me down. Again, constraint, trapped, right? No question why these fears were coming up in me, right? And maybe you too. But the truth is that in a healthy partnership, you're gonna be able to thrive, okay? You'll know that it's the right relationship for you and you wanna be in a commitment when you can thrive. You are moving forward, you're going up, you're elevating, you're becoming healthier, you're healing a space to thrive in, becoming the best version of yourself. Like, that's a relationship you want to be committed in. And it's very interesting because, again, committed might seem like bound, no space to move, stuck. But it's actually, love can actually free you. Because if you think about it, with the right partner, you're creating a space to thrive, to feel love, because you're going to be supported, you're going to be encouraged, you're going to have someone to lean on, someone to mirror to you and help you grow and thrive. This beautiful relationship. I love talking about relationships on this channel because I feel like they've been distorted. They've been given a bad rap, a bad name, and people are just focusing on sex or how somebody looks or Tinder swiping and all of this crap that is not going to truly fulfill us. Yes, we fulfill ourselves, but love is truly the most powerful force in the universe. And that's why I love speaking about how we can create healthy relationships with one another. We do need that, you know, men and women. And it's very much possible when we work on ourselves. And so that's why I wanted to bring this up. Banishing fears surrounding commitment and intimacy, right? So commitment also means a space to connect deeply with another. Oh my goodness, so deep. Because there's only, I mean, I am all about the relationship with your inner world and connecting with God, the universe, and we're so powerful individually. It is beautiful. I love it. At the same time, there's nothing quite like that alignment you feel in your heart when you are able to connect with another soul on a deep level, okay? Not connect deeply physically, not just that way. I mean spiritually, metaphysically. When you feel that resonance with another soul, it's very powerful, potent. That is love, that unseen force, but it's felt. So when you're able to connect deeply with another soul in commitment, within a commitment, right? Within a partnership, that's how you're gonna really get deep and intimate. You're gonna be able to see someone else's shadows, and you can work together to draw things out, bring them into the light to be healed. It's not about all day sitting around being like, what are your fears? What do you need to heal today? Like, no, but within the course of relationships, things are gonna come up. And the difference between a commitment and just a whatever relationship, within a commitment, you're both committed to staying, being present, not giving up. That love, being environment, that devotion, you're gonna need that because life can get tricky. And so you're free to work on yourself, to heal yourself, to take time, to have space, to have grace, to like patience within a commitment, versus being afraid that, oh, you can't show your real self because then someone's gonna leave, or I can't get too deep because this is just shallow. These are the beautiful parts of being in a commitment. This is what I've been considering within my own life, and what had to come to the surface for me to heal is like the old fears, things that I saw in my past that didn't even have anything to do with me. Things I've seen in the movies, like movies I shouldn't have been allowed to see when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. These adult themes that were full of trash, you know, or listening to the wrong music, or of women just being an object and men just cheating or being with a whole bunch of different women. And it creates fear around intimacy, fear around love, fear around vulnerability. But when we can just face if any of that is lurking within our own selves, and we just pour light onto it, then we can cleanse ourselves of these things, that we can give ourselves a chance to love and experience love. Give love and receive love. We can find balance this way, and it's just a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful experience. So drop me a comment. Are you a commitment phobe? Were you a commitment phobe? Are you married? Have you been married 40, 50 years? Like, what's your own story? Are you still creating it? We are all creating our own story every single day, right? I'm sending you so much love, so much power and healing on your journey. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in my next video.